Hi everybody, good morning. This is Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I will be doing some quilting a little bit later on actually in the day. But right now, just a few random things. I don't know if you can see it here. Can you see it there? Oh yes, because Maxwell put it here. I just received the other day my let me see, not yearly, not even 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, roll of batting from Amazon. The batting that I use comes like this. It's not a little package. I don't do individual packages. I was doing individual packages. I would make a full-size quilt and I would go out and buy enough batting for it. I found years ago to have a 20-yard bolt of batting and or 25 to 40 yards, which I have gotten over the last 20 years of me quilting. This batting that I have been using for about the last 5, 6, 7 years is called Warm and Plush. Quite a few of you have asked, what kind of batting do you use? It is a heavier weight batting from the Warm company, which does warm and natural batting, which is 100% cotton. The reason I like the Warm and Plush, and forgive me with the Warm company or batting companies out there, when I started to quilt, I experimented with a lot of things. I tried polyester. I didn't know the difference. I didn't know the difference. I'm completely self-taught. A poly bat was popular maybe 25, 30 years ago, and then they came up with scrim and non-scrim. Now the selection of batting is unbelievable. You have wool and bamboo and drape and poly and cotton and all sorts of fibers for batting. I really like this Warm and Plush because to me it reminds me of the original Warm and Natural. I just think over the years, again my personal opinion, that batting has gotten much thinner and obviously more expensive. I get it in 20-yard bolts by 90 inches by 20 yards. Now the reason I get it like this, even though I'm not as prolific a quilter as I was, I just find it so much easier to be able to open up my bolt. It's a little bit ungainly, but I have Maxwell helping me, and I just slice off, measure it with a measuring tape. I just slice off a bit. Obviously, if I'm doing a small quilt, I could just do half of the width, 45 inches by maybe a yard and a half if I'm doing a small lap quilt or a baby quilt. I find it, I have it forever. Obviously I don't, I just ran out of it from my last quilt that I had made. Now I just have a few other things. I do have a sharing is caring, and I wanted to share this one. These are a little bit older, and thank you so very much for sending them to me. My sharing is caring, for the most part, is sending me in projects that you have finished, that you watched my tutorials, and that you were inspired to make your own. I'm deviating from that just slightly, but I just think it's very interesting that people are sending me their own little quilting stories. And I have something to share with my husband, Ian, who had an idea. He's going to be joining me in just a moment. But for the first one, I'm going to be, I have their permission to read about and to share you right here, because I think that's a nice place to share it. This is from Shirley. Shirley, you know who you are. It says, "Hi Jean, hope all is well. Back in the 1990s, they had some shows on TV where some women were giving quilting and sewing instruction that I watched and taped. They were the top quilters like Jean Wells, Billy Lauder, Alex Anderson, Eleanor Burns, and many more. I was hooked. So I went out and got this book and I got started. This is the book that Shirley went out and bought. It has taken many years, and between many other quilts and projects of doing a little then and doing nothing, my rulers, my rotary cutter, and my seam rippers all have had its work out. Finally, the end of the tunnel. And this past summer, I had it quilted by a woman named Diana Leslie. I just wanted to share. This is from Shirley. So she was inspired by a book maybe 3 decades old, but quilts are timeless. And as you have seen, Shirley's quilt has turned out beautiful. Much credit goes to you, Shirley, for perseverance. You can always come back to your quilts, finish them up, and love them. Thank you so much for sharing. And this is from TL. This is from Terry. Again, you know who you are, my jade elephant. If you've followed me, you know that I had done a loose series of videos tutorials loosely on how I did a foundation paper pieced violet craft pattern pieced elephant. It was not for a beginner, absolutely not. I go through the process of how I put my quilt together. Here is a picture of my final quilt, which I took from the pattern and then I added and I embellished. And again, you can see my playlist on how I made this quilt. And it's a very famous pattern. Once you see this elephant, you've seen them. So Terry had just wanted to share this with us. Jean, I just wanted to share my elephant with you. I know I previously mentioned it to you, and then I was re-watching your elephant journey. It's a journey. It was interesting quilting it, but I really loved making it. And if you had the need, if I had the need, I would make number 3. This is her second one. Thanks. I wanted to reply to your email this morning. We've been emailing back and forth. P.S. Yes, love one another, stay united, and preach with all your heart. Yes, we're trying to do that, Terry. Love each other in this wicked world we live in. Making quilts, having that burden of being out in the horrible, cold, horrible world. We can be in our sewing rooms and create beautiful things. So Terry, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful elephant. And you must name your elephant. I named mine Cheryl after somebody who said, after a Cheryl who said, what are you going to name your elephant? I said Cheryl the elephant. Now this is the last part of my little video here, and I'm going to be getting Ian up in just a moment. Kathy, you know who you are, had sent me 2 pictures of her actual sewing room. She had sent the same picture 3 times. She's technologically, I can't even say the word, technologically impaired. But these are pictures of part of my sewing room in my childhood home in Olive Branch, Missouri? Mississippi? MS. What is MS? Maine? No, not Maine. What other? Montana? No, Missouri or Mississippi. Olive Branch, MS. I will put it up. That we are moving back to full-time. Oh, how lovely. This is a picture of my floor-to-ceiling fabric storage my husband has made for me in Olive Branch. It's almost full, but I have to make room for my fabric in Clarksdale, MS. Oh, you're moving all over MS there, Kathy. It's so funny. Where we've been living for the past 7 years while my husband served as a United Methodist pastor. I asked her if I could share her sewing room, and she said, yes, you certainly may. I'm quite humbled and honored that you'd be interested. Bless your heart, Kathy. Ian, my husband Ian, I was telling him about this story and how I'm encouraging people to share, and Ian had a really good idea, and I'm going to go get him now, and he can talk about that.
Your email. Okay.
truelovequiltsforyou@gmail.com. I've encouraged people to send me pictures of their projects, but I have received from Kathy, who I was just chatting about, photographs of her actual sewing area, which I've shared with you folks.
Wow, we've had some sewing areas. Oh.
I know. So I was telling Ian.
I can think of 4. Right
oh yeah.
Right off the bat.
Oh yes, my 4 sewing rooms.
Well, and they were sewing rooms. When you first started, all you had was a little table and
in the basement.
Yeah. Oh, at the family home.
At our family home. I was actually...
Land, PA.
Yeah, I was in the basement. I guess that was 20 years ago when I started. No, it was more than that. I set up my sewing machine.
Because the basic decorations of the basement, which was quite a nice basement, weren't enough for you. You got me to wallpaper all of the walls down in the basement, which was superb.
It was lovely.
This red was with a superb design, and you had a little sewing area in the basement.
Yeah, but then
you got into it.
Then I got into quilting.
Oh no, when she gets into it, you got to watch out.
And so I had an idea. So I had an idea. We had 2 bedrooms in the half of the 2-car garage.
We had a centre hall 4-bedroom colonial that we
turned into.
We managed to produce elastic walls, and from 4 bedrooms we went to like 8 bedrooms.
8 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms.
Because we used our double garage.
We went in the attic.
A little library. a bedroom, and there were originally three bedrooms plus a little library
in the double garage.
In the double garage, but as our kids grew and a few of the older ones
moved out, there was 2 bedrooms with a wall between that we had built. And
I made it into like the single garage
envelope. If these people know,
took the internal wall down that I put up there and made it into a fairly wide single garage size.
So it was 9 foot wide by 19 foot long, but with 9 foot ceilings. And the one half of the half garage. And if you go back to my very, very original videos way back whenever I started this channel, you will see that sewing room Ian had built on all 4 walls, shelving. It was fantastic.
I was always being asked, can I put some more fabric on that wall? I went over there's a little bit of room. So I became the shelving king.
He's the shelf man.
The shelf man.
He's the shelf man. You want shelves? Yes. I kept getting lots and lots of fabric. I knew that quilting was my passion. So then fast forward.
So we made that garage into
my favorite sewing room.
A favorite sewing room. And I had these sewing tables that I made out of oversized, like butcher block or oak.
Yeah. I had 2 of them.
Counters.
So lovely.
Countertop material that we made into work areas, and it was very tight, but
it worked.
Well designed.
Beautiful.
And you only had to walk a few steps.
I loved
to
that
go
sewing
to
room.
A cutting area, to go to a sewing area, an ironing area.
Amazing what we got in that space. Which brings us to
your creativity there was
through the roof.
How many quilts did you make in that?
Oh,
that was the first real sewing area.
Yes,
the one in the basement was just a starter.
Yeah.
But that was nice.
I made hundreds.
What you had down in the basement.
And that brings us to this point. Then I don't want it to go on too long.
Oh.
Sorry.
Am I going on?
No. But I went on before, so I don't want this to go on too long.
Well, I can imagine that.
Shut up. You're going on and on. So then quickly we moved into my massive, huge sewing room, which was awesome, and that didn't last long.
Yeah, it was in our son and daughter-in-law's house.
Yeah.
When we sold the family home,
and
we moved into
and that was awesome.
Their home.
That was so lovely. The sewing room was 30 foot long by 20 foot wide.
And I was able to use all of the butcher block
it was
desks.
Lovely. Yeah.
I took them apart in our family home, single garage, compact, so well designed.
And it was beautiful.
Sewing room. I took everything apart and managed to reposition it in this much larger area, and made a desk area
and made an office for me.
An office.
And then we lost that home.
Along came a tornado,
and then I was in
a flood.
And then I was in a basement.
Oh, we're in emergency accommodation.
And I had to sew. You guys followed this whole story.
And it was a microcosm of what we'd had before. But I
still produced about 3 or 4 quilts, even though my creativity tanked, obviously, bad. Then we moved into hopefully this is our forever home. We have 2 rooms.
Fabulous.
This is my one room, which you know, and it is about 10 foot?
No, it's about 12 by 12.
About 12 by 10 by 12 room, and then my little other room, which is my fabric room, which brings us to the point.
What's your point?
No, you've made a point.
What did I point at?
No, you made the point. No, you made the point.
Oh, about having sewing rooms.
Yeah, go on. I was talking to Ian about
it's so lovely to have a little place, fabrics, to have a little sewing area, startup is fabulous. You know, it's a very, very good thing. And you want to see? Oh, because somebody on the email
had
sent you
me
a photograph.
A photograph of their space.
Let's see your photographs.
There you go. To make a long story even longer.
So much experience
in sewing rooms.
We'd love to see what you
and share.
What you perhaps share some of the ideas.
Oh, absolutely. Storage ideas and cutting tables and sewing tables and how you where's your ironing station. There's so much in quilting, whether you have a closet or a dining dining room table, or like we had whole rooms. I think it would be really nice to be able to share. Yeah. And that was your idea, to say.
Is it? Oh, it was my idea.
It was your idea.
It was my idea.
No, it wasn't my
poking
It was your idea.
With some fun.
No, it was your idea for people to send in.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, not just their finished products, but their sewing room. Since this is a quilting channel, I obviously have veered off from, you know, tutorial after
tutorial.
Sewing
is such fun.
Yeah.
I can't sew for the life of me, but seeing family and friends of my gene sewing and enjoying the what fascinates me is the engineering in these amazing machines.
Yeah. The process, the whole process.
The process is quite fascinating.
Yeah. So what your machines, so I just thought truelovequiltsforyou@gmail.com. If you want to, take a few snapshots and send a small story of how you organize your fabric, the scissors you like, the tools you like, your cutting, what irons you like. I just think that would be, you know, this whole quilting community. I think whether it's, like I said, whether it's on a table or whether you have a large room, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, please do, because then I get more opportunities to sit next to my lovely wife.
And make a video. Because people love to see Ian and Maxwell. You're sitting in,
you're gorgeous.
You're sitting in my chair.
Oh yes, it's a very comfortable chair.
I know, Ian comes in. You come in with your food, you come in with your drink. Because my office chair is right here.
It's such a fabulous atmosphere.
It is a nice little room.
Good things to see.
Yeah.
It's a breath of fresh air in a not so nice world.
Yeah, I was just saying that. In a not so nice world. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, Ian, for your suggestion. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.
I feel well had.
All right. See you later, folks. Love from the Trueloves. Bye.